Good morning.
Good morning, America. Wait, that's not it.
Well, good morning, everybody, or actually, good afternoon to some people, I suppose.
Hmm. Yeah.
We,
Happy lunch.
for those longtime watchers of the Morning Laugh, we used to start this at 6 a.m.
It was
Arizona
terrible.
time.
It was terrible.
It was.
I had to wake up before 6 a.m.
That was a little brutal. So we decided, you know what, forget it. We're just going to do this on our time.
That's right. Is
Yeah,
that how it worked?
kind of. So what's new with you, Brian?
Well, I know today, as of today's recording, it's Tuesday, September 17th. Stir Crazy just celebrated its 7th anniversary being born out of the loins of our good friend Tom Sims.
Yeah.
Onto this fine city of Glendale, Arizona, and yep, that was anticlimactic, to be honest. It was a Sunday, and it was it was just
Yeah.
you know what I mean. There's certain anniversary years aren't that exciting. I mean, you're married, you know how it goes.
the people don't realize it's 7 years old, which seems like a long time, and it is, but there were years of planning before that, which kind of starts and stops, and
Yeah.
is he going to do this? Are we not going to do this? Is finding different venues, thinking, oh, here's a venue, this is going to work. Nope, that didn't work. Try something else.
Yeah. So really, 7 years really looks more like 10 to 11 years.
Yeah.
In terms of for Tom and all
Right.
the research we did. So I say all that to say congratulations, Tom Sims, on 7 wonderful years. I said wonderful. There's been some,
but also
I don't know if you remember the pandemic.
It's 7 years. Yeah. It's also, you forget though, it's 7 years since he became a club owner, which meant he was our friend.
Huh. So the friendship goes back farther than that.
Yeah, it's true.
Gosh.
We've known Tom a long time.
Yeah, so that's what's been going on there. And then I did a veterans show on Sunday, which, those shows they tend to be earlier, Mike. Veterans home.
It depends on which veterans you're talking to. But
yeah. It's a veterans home, like old veterans, not new veterans. Yeah. So the show was at 2:00, ended at 3. So still had the whole night ahead of me, kind of thing. So no, it was good though. Not a small crowd, but appreciative crowd. So, and I just learned that they've been doing that for a year now. So it's been building. So it's nice. So
they do it regularly, like
about every other month, I believe, is when they do it. So yeah. So I'll get you on that show, Mike. I got connections now. What have you been up to, Mike?
Well, last time I told you we were going to go camping over the weekend.
Right.
And we were going to go to Williams and actually hopefully visit Puseum.
Right.
We did not do that at the last minute. There was a change of plans. We had some complications in it. So
sounds like a bunch of Puseum to me, Mike.
But my grandkids were very excited about the camping and getting away for the weekend. And so was I, to be honest with you. So we decided we're going to do camping at home. So the kids all came over. They spent the night at our house. We set up a tent in the workout room, and they stayed in there, and we played games and watched movies and did camp-related things. And, of course, Jenny decorated the whole house to be camp-themed.
Yeah.
Woods-themed, forest-themed.
She spray any, like, cedar or anything? Or
no, you should have done that.
I shouldn't assume cedar. I don't know what part of you were pretending to be, what forest.
I was watching something on television the other day, and somebody somewhere in the script, they said a piece of wood, and they go, does that smell like cedar to you? Or what kind of wood do you think? Is that cedar? And I thought, there's no way you can mistake cedar for anything else. It's got a very distinctive smell.
And I've got to tell you, I mean, I've been on this planet a long time, and I can't tell you what a cedar tree looks like. I know what it smells like, but I can't tell you what it looks like.
I can, but I grew up around a lot of cedar trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the mighty pine pretty well. I don't know if you know this, Mike, but my middle name translates to pine. So
does it really?
Yeah, it does.
I didn't know that.
So I don't know if anybody's ever smelt me. Also, what pine smells like.
Your middle name is a Japanese name, so is it a Japanese type of pine, or is pine tree in general?
It's not specific.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure when the word was, yeah, it was meant for the area. Their pine trees are a little bit different actually in Japan, but
yeah,
but
they're
I'm
not
a little
Douglas
different.
firs.
No, they're not Douglas firs, or else my middle name would be Douglas. I think we covered it.
Brian Douglas Kohatsu.
Uh-huh. So Mike, this ad keeps coming up on my phone for several things, and on anything I'm watching, it comes up. Spotify, it's been coming up quite a bit. This coming Friday, September 19th, is the premiere of the new series, The Penguin.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a series. I thought it was just a movie.
Nah, it's a series. But here's the thing. So I want to show you this. So years ago, somebody said to me, they said, Brian, they just met me. They said, Brian, you look a little bit like Colin Farrell. Okay. So wait a minute.
Here. I could see it. I could see it. Yeah. It's the brown eyes.
It's the brown eyes. Exactly. Anyways, I was like, whatever. Then the guy followed up with this. If he let himself go. Again, I just met this person. Okay. So
was this a comedy fan? Was this like a fan after show?
I was doing a comedy workshop and this guy said it to be funny. And I thought, the joke's on him because he's not even doing, I have never seen him after that workshop. So, but the more I thought about it, Mike, as the years have gone by, I think I'm looking a little more like Colin Farrell.
That's amazing that's him.
It's the most amazing transformation. I think it's just give it up to the makeup people. And then not only that, he's so lost in that character. It doesn't even feel like him. It honestly feels like Tony Soprano.
I don't see any of Colin Farrell in that. Usually when you do even the prosthetics and all that, you go, oh, okay, now I see it in the eyes or whatever. But I don't see any of him in that get up. That's crazy.
Now again, Mike, what do you think? Colin Farrell? That's close. I'm not saying I too am a chameleon, but wow.
I was thinking that was more Brandon Fraser.
I don't know. I'm one tie away from just being a completely different person.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the tie.
But did you see the Batman where that penguin was in that particular version?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because Colin Farrell is amazing in the little bit he's in it. Again, unrecognizable. So I'm curious to see the series and see how that goes. You can't really see it behind me, but my son actually brought me home a bat signal.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Let me switch sides, see if it comes up. Nope, it's not gonna work. Anyway, here we'll do this. There it is. Boom. It's a bat signal. Popcorn holder.
It's like a light then, so it actually
does light up.
It actually shows the bat signal on your ceiling.
Yeah.
Does it show it on the clouds?
Not on the cloud. It's not. It's one bulb. I'm not sure how many lumens it takes to illuminate the bat signal, but
they never really addressed the fact that the bat signal would only work on a cloudy day.
True. What do you do then?
Yeah.
Well, Gotham City's pretty gross. I think there's always a cloud of something.
Enough smog.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why Batman only comes out at night. Like I waited all day. Commissioner, I waited. I didn't get your call. Well, we tried. Yeah. I'm not sure of that relationship. It's a weird working relationship. I'll call you, don't call me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I call you, the rest of the cops are what? Taking breaks? I don't know.
You called me on my home phone. Use the bat phone.
Boy, that bat signal looks like a giant W, like Wayne Industries. Wait a minute. Wrong light. And I've never seen those two signals together.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it'd be interesting to see. That's a big thing now, too, is they put out these movies about the villains, on their own.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever cared to know, It's like, if this trend continues, do we want to watch Goldfinger, the movie? Just what did Goldfinger do? Like, what's he eat for breakfast before he goes after, James Bond? Nobody cares.
Yeah, even the Disney things where they highlight the villains in certain movies, like Wicked, I guess, is one, and there's a few others.
Maleficent.
Yeah.
Maleficent. I don't know. I'm still saying it wrong, I'm sure. Like when it like a Powerpuff movies, the Powerpuff Girls, like Mojo Jojo, that I'd watch. What's he doing at home?
I would watch The Witch from the Bugaloos.
True.
Her backstory.
That's terrifying. Witchy Poo.
Witchy Poo, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Witchy Poo was from HR Puffin Stuff, right?
HR Puffin Stuff.
Yeah.
Which it's in the name right there, Puffin Stuff. Like it just now hit me. Oh, Jimmy, we're gonna be in trouble again. Shut up, Fetty.
Anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about,
They have no idea.
do a Google search or do a YouTube search of HR Puffin Stuff. You'll see. You'll see. That was our childhood was just littered, and I mean that literal in the sense of littered with those costumed action shows.
Let me put it a little bit more eloquently. It was littered with visual nightmares.
It was Sigmund and the Sea Monster.
All the Sid and Marty Krofft stuff was terrifying.
Yeah, it was crazy.
As a kid, you loved it, and then the more you examine it, you're like, well, wait a minute. I mean, Lidsville was a show about hats.
Yeah, it was a show about just animated hats. Everybody was a hat. It was usually it had something to do with some fantasy world that innocent kid got
sucked into.
HR Puffin Stuff was the strangest one to me, though. It was just like, it reminded me of that book, Where the Wild Things Are.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of that always when I was a kid. I thought this is what that was like.
That movie was on the other day. I kind of stopped at it for 2 seconds and I said, I just don't like, it was one of my wife's favorite books growing up. And some adaptations to feature films don't need to be done.
So there is
except Green Eggs and Ham. I'd like to see a 3-hour Kevin Costner version of Green Eggs and Ham.
Hop on Pop.
He's just like, what are we gonna do? Hop on Pop. 1 fish, 2 fish.
So there is a live animated, or it's a live action of Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Yes, that's new. Yeah, that's fairly new.
Harold and the Purple Crayon was a very simple book about a boy with an imagination, and he drew things, and in his imagination, those were the real things, which we all could relate to. The trailer from the movie completely switches it up to it's a magic crayon. There's no imagination. It's just and it looks horrifying to me.
Yeah. Usually adaptations really don't work. You know, the one movie nobody wants, based on a children's thing, is Caillou. Nobody wants that.
I don't know that one.
Oh my gosh! If you've got time, do a Caillou a deep search. He's always complaining. He's terrible to people. He doesn't look right. Pretty sure he's bald. We're not sure if he's got some medical issues going on or not. Something's wrong with Caillou, and he's annoying. So, and then I don't know. Sometimes it seems like there's dream sequences going on. Maybe Grandma's dead. I don't know what's happening, but. And the song's annoying too. So, yeah. So you got your homework, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely different from when the time you and I were kids till now, because the shows now, most of them are 3D animated. They've just even Dora the Explorer now is a 3D animated thing. I've seen commercials for it. I'm not watching it. As far as you know, what else? But all of them tended to go that way, you know, that animated style. It's interesting. They brought back the X-Men cartoon from the 90s. They have done a continuation from that one. And that seems to be doing fairly well.
So you're more of a Marvel guy than me, but the new, and I don't give anything away because I want to see it, the new Deadpool thing with Wolverine. Wolverine is in a different costume, which is a throwback more to the old comic strip, right?
Correct.
Comics, not the comic strip. But,
correct.
Okay.
Yes, not the comic strip.
Right.
That daily paper thing. We were like, what's Wolverine up to today?
His hijinks.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll read it in a second. I got to get past the Marmaduke. Why do they keep him around? Put that dog down already. Okay. Blondie's still alive. She's looking pretty good for 106 years old.
You know what I'd like to see is a live action, not claymation, but live action David and Goliath.
Oh, live action. Who's playing who?
I don't know. I guess the dog would still have to be animated, but I think the David, the boy, would have to be played by, who would that be?
Bob Smiley.
Yeah, that'd be good. Are there any, I mean, I know these days things are different. So in the past, when there was a famous kid, everybody knew who he was because it was in the movies.
Right.
Today's famous kids are all streaming or on one of the 10,000 channels of television. Nobody knows, the 10% know the famous people.
I think one of the issues, though, the biggest issue is, right, not only are they doing their own thing, but two, those are the ones that end up on Nickelodeon and all that. And those series are so quick and they come and go so fast. Nobody's a household name on any of these things. But it seems like kids grow so fast now. By the time you make one film with this kid and you want, let's do a sequel. Now the kid's, 13, pimply faced and awkward and doesn't want to do it. He's 6 feet tall and like,
Yeah.
they're not, I mean, I don't know. Go back to watching Leave It to Beaver, from the beginning to the end. He's an awkward teenager by the time that show's over. I mean, that show canceled itself, Hey, Wally, it's not cute anymore.
I saw a small clip of Leave It to Beaver, and I thought, yeah, they don't. I'm sure SNL must have done a take on that, a sketch on Leave It to Beaver at some point, or somebody. But you never see any references to that anymore.
Nobody remembers it. Just you and I talking about it right now.
I had my grandkids watch one of the first episodes of Little Rascals, Our Gang, and it's pretty interesting to watch. It's the one with Spanky and Buckwheat are fishing, and it's pretty hilarious.
No, those kids, their comedy timing was great back then.
Yeah,
those kids were real actors, but those kids also understood back then we better do something or we're gonna starve.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure they got paid. Probably all they got paid was lunch for doing those shows. But yeah. And then if you look at the remake of it back, I don't know, what was that, 80s or 90s? They remade it with somebody else. That's just not great. I mean, that Spanky had to be 3 or 4 years old when he filmed that first one. But he had his lines. It was great.
Yeah. Well, they were really acting too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like every once in a while they had to assume, like when they get on the telephone or something. Yes, I like to order some whatever. Right away. Yeah, no, they were like true actors and really were good. They didn't seem like kid actors.
No.
Kid actors today are like, kid actors today are very, very bad.
Yeah.
Because they want to be a star. They don't want to be. Here's the thing. Like with my kids, my kids are pretty well grown at this point. But, when they were little kids, it was like, look at all the shows they had. Like Hannah Montana. It's about a girl who's famous, who pretends not to be famous during the day so she can keep her normal life. Victorious, about a bunch of kids going to a school to become famous singers, etc., and all that, to become famous.
Yeah.
iCarly is a girl who's got a podcast or a streaming show that is so she becomes again famous. It's just on and on about the fame thing was so ingrained. And I gotta tell you, my kids are not famous. So famous to
today,
me.
That's what I was saying before. In the past, fame in America meant most people knew who you were. Adults, kids. Fonzie was famous.
Right. You had to be on TV, a movie, a singer, an athlete, politician.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, murderer. And sometimes this transfers over to this hand. But that was it. And you had to make national news.
Right. So today, famous means 1 million people know who you are. And that sounds like a lot, but there are 350 million people in America. So it's a third of a percent of the people know who you are as famous today. Whereas before, famous meant,
I'll tell you right now, Mike.
Most of America knew you.
Mike, if you dropped your pants and you farted the national anthem, more beautiful than Whitney Houston, you'd go viral, and everyone would know who you are for a day.
Nobody could fart the anthem better than Whitney Houston can fart the anthem.
Well, I believe in hope. Someone out there, maybe Mariah Carey. I don't know. I don't know what she eats. But I'm just saying, it can take off that quickly that you've got, a million hits, and suddenly you're like, I mean, again, a million hits, you're only known for like 3 seconds.
Did we ever do celebrity farts on Morning Laugh, Brian?
No, that's a copywritten thing for the BS Factor. So
you can't do that on here.
I own all of it. I'd have to get some clearance from Stephanie. It's just, yeah, you can't just toss around bits, Mike. Plus, I don't have anything to give away. So
that'd be a fun one to do sometime.
Yeah. But going back to the topic that we never do, what were we talking about? No, it was just, I'm saying, fame's fleeting. It's very quick, come and go. Andy Warhol, who nobody remembers, was famous everyone's famous for 15 minutes. How he knew that internet was coming, I have no idea, but it's pretty true.
Here's an example, like Mr. Beast and Logan Paul, is it? That I don't know which one of them is the boxer and which one's the other one. But anyway.
They both box now, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they both have YouTube channels, I imagine, too. But anyway, I read this morning, they joined forces because they have such young audience, which is disturbing. Mr. Beast, I get, he's pretty clean and all that. That other guy, I've seen stuff from him. I think he shouldn't have kids watching him.
Logan
but
and
anyway,
Jake Paul. Yeah.
They've joined together and have created an alternative to Lunchables that's more healthy.
Wait, the Paul brothers?
No, I think it's Logan Paul and Mr. Beast joined together.
Oh, and Mr. Beast. Okay.
Yeah, because I think one of them has an energy drink, the other one has whatever it is. But they joined together to create Lunchables that are healthy for their young viewers and their young fans. This is the biggest pile of crap in the world. It consists of an energy drink.
Okay.
Keep in mind, this is supposed to be healthy for young kids, a healthy alternative. An energy drink. You know how kids don't have enough energy.
Sure.
And
they get tired around 3:00 and need a cup of coffee. And
just a bunch of processed foods, just like Lunchables. It's just garbage. It's just pure garbage food. And I don't know why I mentioned that, but I just happened to see that earlier. Talking about fame, these guys are probably among the most famous people in the world.
Yeah.
And for no other reason than their YouTube channels.
The funny thing is, to sustain that type of fame, Mr. Beast, I mean, he's got something that he's working on. There's always something interesting to watch, or his interaction. He seems like a decent guy, from what I don't know much about him at all, but yeah, the Jake Paul and Logan, right?
Yeah.
By the way, we do have somebody watching right now at the moment. Dawson, welcome. Good to know. I'll stop eating it now. Yeah. Dawson, we've reached out across the pond now to Finland. Thank you for watching.
Our international audience.
Yeah. It's nice, though, that I don't know. I don't think Dawson's eating as much garbage now that he's living in Finland.
Yeah.
I mean, probably garbage to him is probably like, hey, do you want some more Swedish fish? That's probably really Swedish fish. It's not even the candy. It's like something they caught. They're like, get that garbage out of here. When
my wife and I, Jenny and I, went to Europe a few years ago, we spent a day in Sweden. We were mostly in Denmark, but we went over to Sweden for a while. And I will tell you this: you don't want to eat there.
Oh,
it's just the food is just horrible.
It's a good travel tip.
It is. It's just.
So bring your own Lunchables.
But
bring your American Lunchables with you.
Bring Mr. Beast Lunchables with you. They're better.
You go.
It's just not the food's fairly healthy. It's just disgusting.
Yeah. Well, boo Sweden.
All right. I don't know. I feel like that's racist, Dawson.
It seems a little bit. By the way, I don't know. We talked about a little bit about me earlier, and I'm a quarter Swedish.
Are you really? I didn't know that.
Actually, I'm not a quarter Swedish. I'm full Swedish. I'm
That's why I
half
didn't know it.
Swedish. I'm half Swedish, according to those DNA things. Yeah, isn't that weird?
Well, that would mean your mom's all Swedish.
Yeah. She didn't know that though.
Yeah.
That side of the family's history we don't talk about.
Oh, okay. I hear you.
We don't know who is who.
I think those DNA things are interesting because I have 6 brothers and sisters, and you'd think siblings would have pretty identical DNA, but it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's similar, but it's not exactly the same. Like my Irish DNA is at like 80% which is pretty high. But my sister, she showed me hers, and hers was way lower than that, way lower.
Well, some of them drink more than others, though.
Yeah. I'm more prone to fighting and drinking than she is.
Which brings us back to the main topic today, Colin Farrell.
That's right. Speaking of Irish. AKA Brian Kohatsu.
What was that movie he did recently? The Sheeran. What is it?
Oh. Recently? I'm seeing of the screaming something.
Yeah, man.
Are you talking about the one in Ireland where he's on the island?
Yes. Island of Ishirin? What is it? I keep saying Ishirin. The Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That was a good movie.
It was very good. Different. Definitely.
His
Definitely
movie.
Different.
He also did The Lobster.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if you haven't seen The Lobster, great movie. You just got to be prepared. I'll tell you this. If you like The Lobster, you'll love Rubber. Because Rubber is an amazing cinematic masterpiece.
I've seen most of Rubber.
It's great.
Ahem. I don't know. You've been watching anything else though? Do you have any? I just finished Chimp. Was it Chimp Crazy? I forgot the name of it. Yes, Chimp Crazy on HBO. That came to a very dramatic ending. Very interesting.
I have not watched any of that.
Jennifer Coolidge must play the woman from it though. She's just this big blonde-haired woman who wants a chimpanzee real bad. I have one. I'm lucky. This is my new thing. It's me doing women's voices now. The one I'm currently working on now is someone in the news. Quite a bit. But I'm working on it, Mike. Every day.
She's got the George Bush shoulder laugh.
Yeah. Which is tough. I'm not stretched out for the morning.
Bush used to do that, but he do. And but she does it with that huge giggle, but her shoulders just bounce all over the place.
Yeah. But I am working on that impression.
Her shoulders move more than her positions on critical issues.
What's funny is that, but anybody, you slide them in there, don't you? No, but she, like anybody who quivers in their voice all the time, that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who sounds wounded.
Somebody described her as
is probably wounded.
I think they referred to, maybe this is a term out there, wine mom or drunk mom, but I think wine mom. But that's exactly who she is. She's that lady in her 40s that is always seems to be a little tipsy.
Yeah.
And
she also,
always
you know
has
what?
a glass of wine.
Her cadence that she does is very much like Rita Rudner.
That's great.
This looks much better on what? Fire. If you're tuning in right now, I'm doing Colin Farrell doing ladies' impressions.
This is Brian as Colin Farrell as Rita Rudner.
It looks much better on what fire? I want the Batman dead. Thank you. Sorry, I don't have. Well, could you share real quick? I got you, babe. Whatever. Anyway, but are you watching anything? I know you typically like your.
I had been watching throwback stuff like Taxi, Frasier, and Cheers, a few of those things. But I'm not really into any of them right now. I just watched a few things here and there, just kind of old nostalgia stuff. But I haven't really watched anything else. We watched Outlast. Did you ever watch this show, Outlast? It was on Netflix a couple years ago.
Set. I'm thinking of something else.
It's a survival thing.
Oh,
so
no.
I think you've seen bits of Alone where they put people out and they're just toilet, and they really have to survive. They don't get food or anything. They have to build a shelter, all that stuff, and they're completely alone. There's no camera crew or anything. They have their own cameras they set up ahead of time, but they're alone. So that's probably the best survival show if you want to watch a survival show. But then there's also like Survivor, which I know originally was they had to survive more, but now you watch them. They don't. If you watch Survivor later episodes or seasons of Survivor, it's so funny because they all complain. Oh, I really want. Oh, if we win this thing, we get fried chicken or we get some big reward. And they talk about just eating rice, but they're constantly showing them eating other food during the whole season. Like, where's that coming from? Anyway, they're clearly not starving or losing weight or anything.
I mean, yeah, it used to be like in season 1, the big thing was they won rice that would last them for a week. Right. And if they were good, they would get like a telephone call from Ellen DeGeneres. But other than that, no frills.
So this show is kind of a combination of the two. They have to survive, so it's hard. They're hungry. People get out because they can't. They're too hungry.
Sure. Like living in Detroit. Sure. Keep going.
But the only rule in the game is you have to be on a team. So they first divide everybody. There's 4 teams of 4 people.
Okay.
The only rule after that is you have to be on a team at the end. Anybody who's on a team, the winning team, at the end of it, gets to split $1 million.
So you could get booted from a team and not accepted from another team.
Correct. And if you're out of a team, you have 24 hours to get on another team. They have to accept you in or whatever. So that's the only rule. So the last season of it.
Oh, it's like college.
So the last season of it, knowing that rule, it was interesting to watch because okay, these guys are posturing. Some people got kicked out of a team because they weren't contributing or whatever, or just their strategy. But then it got really cutthroat because as they got closer to the end, people were stealing from other camps, and so I mean it was just really bad. They went in there and soaked somebody else's sleeping bag so they couldn't sleep. I mean, it was pretty brutal.
That is.
So this new season was expected, and in the meantime, they put up challenges too. So like you have to retrieve a boat or I don't know, whatever. So it's a little bit of a combination of it. So anyway, the point is that's what I've been watching. We watched all of that. I think it's only 8 episodes. It was not. I figured they were really going to lean. It's Netflix. So I figured they're really going to lean into this whole cutthroat everything, and it was actually pretty civil. In fact, one guy early on who did a bad thing immediately got booted out by his team because they didn't like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe the world's maturing, Mike, and we just don't know it.
Maybe.
My daughter is rewatching. I think for the 5th time now, Arrested Development. So I'm in and out catching episodes.
Is she watching any of the later seasons?
Yeah. Oh, she'll watch the whole thing.
Those later seasons are just hard for me to watch. They're just not the same.
Yeah. On topic, off topic. As we both know, Henry Winkler was on Arrested Development. You know,
he was.
But the Emmys the other night they had Ron Howard.
So was Chachi, by the way.
Yes, Chachi was too. But yeah, they had the Emmys the other night, and Ron Howard and Henry Winkler were out, and then they had recreated the set from Happy Days. So
that's so great. I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah. Google that. Find that. Do yourself a favor, Mike.
Do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
What was of that era, the 70s kind of sitcom stuff? Laverne and Shirley, Happy Days, Mork and Mindy. Those actually all the same producers, same tear-offs of each other. What was your favorite?
Marshall.
What was one of your favorite shows? But I remember loving watching All in the Family.
All in the Family, even now watching it, is just a real eye opener. Because back then, I remember it was just kind of jokes here and there, laughing along with family, not understanding everything,
Right.
And it would get heavy and dark and deep sometimes, and politics, race issues, all that kind of stuff. Carol O'Connor was just amazing at playing that character. Yeah, All in the Family, I think, was fantastic. I used to really like Mary Tyler Moore. Was good, but Happy Days, when that came along, that in a weird way reinvented television in its own, that real slapsticky kind of comedy type of way. Because prior to that, everything was so family oriented, where Happy Days was too. But I mean, you kill off the brother in the first season, a little dark for me, but but
he was
a
basketball player.
Laverne and Shirley is two single women. It's not about them being married and families or anything else like that. Mork and Mindy was a this illegal alien who came to our country and shacked up with one of our women, and they were living together. I mean, thank Three's Company for that. You didn't see guys and girls living with each other.
Yeah.
Three's Company was ridiculous in hindsight, but
the whole premise of Three's Company is I have to pretend to be gay so I can live with these women and not get in trouble by the landlord.
Right. And I'm not even dating these two women.
Yeah, and not dating. There's just platonic relationship with these two ladies. And that whole series was based on that one premise, which is just crazy thinking about it now.
Yep.
Facts of life. Same thing.
Yeah. Real quick, every episode of Three's Company. Janet, Chrissy, Mr. Roper.
Every single episode had the same premise, which was somebody overheard somebody in the kitchen and misinterpreted what they heard, and the whole episode was about
and they're all get the thing going, oh, I think Chrissy's pregnant. What? Oh my God. Chrissy, come over here, sit down. Good times.
John Ritter was so great, man.
He was great, dude.
It was such a huge loss when he died.
Not only just really funny, but one of the things people, I think, fail to recognize is, man, his physical comedy is so good. A lot of people do recognize that, but I'm just saying that's the thing. You just remember loving him. But man, the pratfalls, there's a dance sequence one that's been going on it's been circulated lately. That's just, it's a one-take masterpiece of him just going all over a room dancing and, interacting with everybody in the room. It's just fantastic. Yeah, that was a shock, because he's one of those guys you just figured would be around forever.
Yeah. John Ritter. Yeah, he was great. You saw what was it? Body Heat? Was that the name of it?
Body Heat?
What was the name of it?
The one with Kathleen Turner?
I don't remember. Yeah, maybe.
Body Heat?
It was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That movie. No, it was with John Ritter. John Ritter. What's it called? I gotta look it up. John Ritter movie.
It's not Body Heat, folks.
No, but it was something like that. You'll say, oh yeah, okay.
What he played? Was he a cop? Was he?
No, he was just a guy. They had the famous sword fight scene.
Skin Deep.
Skin Deep. See, not bad. Kind of close.
Oddly enough, it's funny that you even say that. So Skin Deep was directed by Blake Edwards. And I was going to say, other than the other person who, I mean, really was fantastic, Peter Sellers, obviously. And again, Peter Sellers is one too with the physical comedy was a little bit hidden in him. Not big like Ritter's pratfalls and stuff, but a lot of those physical misplacements of things and misleads, which Mike Myers just openly admits to watching all that stuff and through osmosis takes some of those ideas and amplified them over the years. But fantastic. I mean, yeah, I just watched Shot in the Dark the other night, the second Pink Panther movie. It's the only one without the Pink Panther in the name. That's the one where they get the costume party at the end. They're trying to catch the killer, and then he's dressed in that knight's uniform and he can't get around. It's ridiculous. That movie's really funny. There's some really funny stuff. He goes to a nudist camp. He's walking around with a guitar, but it's backwards, so the strings are
Oh, I
in.
remember that. Yeah.
He's walking around, and then at one point he's like, "Going." It's just so stupid. Yeah, that's worth watching. I don't know. I had a hard time. I love Steve Martin to death, but I had a hard time watching any of those Steve Martin Pink Panther movies. I don't know.
So when do your classes start up again? I mean, you're doing classes now, but you have new classes starting when?
I currently have 3 classes going on right now. I have a October 5th. I have a stand-up class starting, and then I have another one starting October 22nd, I believe. Yeah. Those will be the last 2 of the year.
All right.
And then I get a break.
I was at your class last night.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about that. I almost forgot. I got to tell you, I told you, I'm jumping ahead, but I told you last night I was exhausted and I came home. I was out. I woke up tired from the story you're about to hear now. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I'm just going to, all I'm going to share is the fact that it was interesting. Mm-hmm. You have one of your students, Dana. She was great. Mm-hmm. She really, I think she's gonna do it if she wants to. Who knows? Mm-hmm. A lot of people take these stand-up classes just as a bucket list thing, or they just want to get out of their shell or whatever, or just try it once or twice. But she definitely has what it takes to move further. I think everybody potentially does if they work hard enough.
Does, sure.
But she's just really naturally talented that way. The other students, not everybody was there. I know Mickey wasn't there. She's somebody I already know. She's performed before and works there at Stir Crazy at the club. And the other 2 were interesting. So I came on in the capacity of talking to them about doing corporate comedy work. And I mean, you could do this too, but you have the guest speakers come in. So I came in that capacity to talk about corporate and being clean. And if somebody asks you to be clean comic, what that really means, etc. So I did that, but the fallout from that was one of the women in your class.
Fallout is the correct word.
Didn't want to go up on stage and work on her material after that because she assumed that I would be hyper judgmental of it not being clean enough, and it wasn't clean. None of her stuff is very clean. It's a lot of cussing and stuff, but also a lot of description of bodily functions and fluids and etc. Anyway, so I think it's funny because I tried to explain, you did too. No, you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying if you want, if you go down this path, this is what it looks like.
It's funny how the moral of the story is, people, when you're talking to people, listen to what they are saying.
Yeah.
Like literally listen to what they're saying, because when you start getting in your head, prejudging other things and missing one part because you're thinking too much about something, she missed everything. And for the entire time you spoke till finally got her up on stage, which was about an hour later combined, she was convinced we were trying to tell her what to do. She was upset. She said she almost was in tears, all this stuff. And it's like, if you would have just listened and shut your mouth, everything would be fine.
Yep. Listen with your ears, not with your mouth.
But she did. She got up and she performed and she was okay. And we were like, there you go.
Yeah. She was very high energy performer. Mm-hmm. So
exactly.
That'll get her a long ways.
Yeah. So tonight I have my class, which covers the same thing. Mike will not be there, but I almost feel like I need to do a disclaimer before it saying, listen, I'm not telling you what to do. Just trying to give you all the information you want.
It's almost, you had to almost approach it to say, I have a guy in here. He's going to show you what prop comedy is like.
Right.
That's not saying you have to do that.
Do this, but this is how it's done.
Yeah, but if you want to do it, here's somebody who's experienced with it. Yeah.
And since we're on the topic, this is how it's done. Look, I have a mustache. What's that? Rubber. I'm not even doing it. I'm not even doing this justice.
The video doesn't do it justice.
What's this made of, pine? Paul.
I didn't hear the glass break in the background when you did that. There you go.
The long throw. I don't know if you saw it. So.
All right. Well, you have anything coming up you want everybody to know about, Brian?
We've covered it all, and we've covered nothing. I will be at Stir Crazy this weekend with Lamar's show, Mahitas. I will be the whitest guy on the show. I think I only got hired because I'm Asian. No, I'm kidding. No, it's going to be a good show. Lamar's got a lot of his... He's putting these shows together with the friends and things that he knows, he trusts. It's like it's his take on the Lamar and Friends. Mike apparently has frozen himself, or he's just really happy at this point. I don't know what's happening, but so that's what I have going on. Mike, can you hear me? Mike, you're muted, and it's me. Hello. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I don't know whether or not it's weird. It's weird now. Do I wrap up the show? Where do I go from here? Because Mike's not here. If I wrap it up and then suddenly he appears, he's going to be like, "What'd you do? Why'd you stop the show without me?" So Mike has several things coming up in the next few weeks. He'll be watching reruns of Hee Haw on the CW. He'll be, I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to come back right now, folks. I can see that technology, it's a lesson I think we've learned in technology. Right,
Can
Mike?
you hear me?
Yeah. I was just explaining to the audience the lesson of technology is basically it'll fail you.
Sorry about it. This happened right before we went live earlier this morning. There's something going on with my system here, but yeah.
Anyways, technology will fail you, and that's why I don't want a pacemaker. Anyways, go ahead.
You have I
got my Lamar show. Got my Lamar show, and then I've got my other projects that I'm frantically working on. And then next week, exciting week, starts the funniest person in the universe.
I am going to be at Stir Crazy at the end of the month, but also everybody up in all our droves of fans up in Sholo, I will be at the Elks Lodge on October 12th.
Ah.
So
come on. It'll be really nice this time of year. You might have to actually take a jacket.
Yeah, maybe. It's with our good friend Chris Bennett, and that'll be fun.
I love Chris Bennett.
So you can go to BrianKohatsu.com or MikeJamesComedy.com and get our calendars and schedules if you want to watch any or go to any of those things. Yep. Other than that, I have Las Palmas. I'll be in Tucumcari, New Mexico in a couple weeks.
So all you New Mexicans out there.
I'll be in Nashville on Halloween. And then Brian and I are going to do a private show in Buckeye.
The day after Halloween.
Yeah, on November 1st.
Because you know how like candy is cheaper the day after Halloween? Apparently booking a comedy show the day after Halloween. That's what people were thinking.
The other thing, too, is keep your eye out for this. We got a few, 3 or 4 comedy shows coming up with 3 of Brian and I and another headliner, Robert G. Lee, who's going to perform with us. So you get 3 headliners for the show, and we got 3 or 4 of those coming up in February. So those will
mark your calendars, kids.
Yeah.
If you're like, what am I going to do the week of Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
And I've been practicing saying Valentine's Day because apparently last year's Valentine's Day show, I said Thanksgiving repeatedly.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Because I was off candy cold turkey, and so it's very confusing. You get it. Well, Mike, have a wonderful week. America, who's watching, have a wonderful week. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you next week, maybe, if we want to.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.